In other words, somebody has upset you. Someone has done something wrong. Someone has done something idiotic. And when they do something idiotic, you think, that's an idiot. And as you know, the basic Buddhist psychology, there's no such thing as an idiot. It's just people who do idiotic things. There's no such thing as a liar. It's just people who tell lies. I learned this when I went to visit prisons in Western Australia and overseas as well. I spent more time in jail than you've had hot dinners. That's what I used to say, some of the prisoners. And I often say that I kept a log of all the times I visited prisons doing service. And I kept a record of the hours spent inside jails teaching meditation and other things, to use as credit in case one day I'm sentenced to jail. I say I've already spent about 2 months there. All the time teaching that should be taken into consideration, but that's not the main point. It was strange whenever you went inside a prison and you expected murderers, rapists, thieves, these rotten people who cause so much problem in society. But it was strange when I went into the jail the first time, and everyone has the same experience who goes visiting prisons. They don't see thieves. They don't see rapists. They don't see murderers or cheats. They see people. I never once seen a criminal. What I've ever seen is a person who's done a crime. Now I mention this because this is almost word for word from the Aranavibhanga Sutta by the Lord Buddha 2500 years ago. He said, to stop conflict, you never criticize the person. You never say that they are the unfaithful husband. Their husband is being unfaithful. There's a huge difference there. You're seeing a bigger picture. You're seeing the person rather than the crime. You're seeing the individual who does many, many things in their life. I don't know how many of you knew that Adolf Hitler was a vegetarian. I mean, terrible people can sometimes do wonderful things. In other words, they're not all bad. I even mentioned this, in Australia, in politics, people were really upset with that racist Pauline Hanson. And I went on record as saying, look, anyone who's owned a fish and chip shop can't be all bad. Because I'm English, I like my fish and chips. So she had some part of herself which was nice, which was wonderful. She's probably got other parts of her which is nice. But why is it we demonise a person because of some things we disagree with or some immoral actions which they do? And when we actually demonise that action and identify with the person, that's where we make conflict. The Buddha said, forget about the person, focus on the act which is causing you problems and difficulties, which is wrong. So when you do that, you're not attacking the person. When you attack the person, people get very defensive. They say, you don't like me, you hate me, you're criticising me. And of course they will defend, there won't be a solution there, it becomes an ego battle, and a lot of conflict comes from that. And so it'd be much more wonderful, according to the teachings of the Buddha, to never criticise a person. Always criticise the act. It's not a good thing you're doing. I don't agree with that, but it's not that I don't like you. I was talking to someone recently that I remember one of the tricks of the Dalai Lama. Whenever he met anybody, it doesn't matter who they were, he'd always look upon that person, almost like see the Buddha inside of them, or see their Buddha nature, something which was a Buddhist monk, you really respect and you love. So even in some really obnoxious people who might come up to someone like the Dalai Lama and sort of start telling him to get a proper job instead of going around the world as a Buddhist monk and being fed by other people, whatever. Sometimes, no matter who you are, you always get obnoxious people come around and try and test you out. In fact, as monks, we actually invite obnoxious people to test us out, to see how strong we are. Remember this, when Ajahn Chah went to England the first time, When he went on alms round through the streets, that's some of the things we have to do as monks. Carry our bowl, wearing our robes, just walking down the streets or whatever city we're in, just to ask for alms, to put food in our bowl. And sometimes in those early years people didn't know who we were, and sometimes we get some very, very rude criticisms. And I remember this one guy, apparently Ajahn Chah said, this one guy in Hampstead, in a very nice suburb of London, when Ajahn Chah was passing, he threw a punch at him. Just missed his nose. Kicked him, but just missed his shins. On purpose, just trying to test him out. And afterwards, Ajahn Chah said, wow, I'm going to send all my monks to Hampstead just to test them out, to see what they're really made of. Because it's great when you have an obnoxious person come along, because it's much more of a test to see how developed you are, whether you really are compassionate and soft, than getting all you nice people over here. So really, you should be more obnoxious. No, I don't mean that. But what it really means is that sometimes that when you see a person who is obnoxious, giving you a hard time, giving you a lot of difficulty, the Buddhist method is try to see something in them that you can really respect, something which you value, which you can love. And when you see something in that person who's being obnoxious, giving you a hard time, making life difficult for you, something which is beautiful, which is lovable, which is wonderful, it changes your whole way of looking at them. You realise that, they've got a few faults there, but there's something worth working on. There's something in the other person you can respect and love. And I do really mean love. The first thing in creating a bridge between you and your enemy so that some sort of reconciliation can happen is seeing something in another person which you, in your worldview, respect and care about. You've got something to work on.